Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Software Development Bootcamp information session. I'm going to go ahead and kick off the session in just a couple of minutes, but before we do, first off, I'd just like to make sure that everybody can see me okay, everybody can hear me okay. Feel free to give me a thumbs up in the chat or just a smiley face or anything. Hello, Josh. Hello. Okay, awesome. You can see me. Thumbs up. Thank you, Adnan. Perfect. Cool. Well, so that's the chat function in the bottom right corner there. You guys will notice beside the chat, there's also a questions tab and there is a polls tab down there. So if you guys have any questions for me, for the speaker today, about the course, about anything at all, go ahead and put it into the questions tab. And then what we'll do at the end of the session is we'll do an audience Q&A together. So if you put any questions in that tab and we don't get to it right away, I promise we are going to. We're not fully ignoring you. We're just kind of waiting to do the group Q&A at the end of the session. The session itself should run for probably about an hour or so today. My presentation's quite minor. I don't have too much to share. And then we'll bring the speaker up. We'll do some Q&A and learn a little bit about their experience in the course. And then once that's done, we'll open it up for audience Q&A as well. So probably take about 45 minutes to an hour or so. Could go a bit over, of course, if you guys have a bunch of questions, which is totally fine. Another thing about this session here today is that it will be fully recorded and sent out to everybody afterwards. So check your email after the event has concluded. Double check your junk mail just in case it ends up there, but it shouldn't. And you'll get a full recording of this session here today. So you're also welcome to write down any stats or any notes, or do whatever you like. But you can also just relax and enjoy the session because you will get a recording there. I've also put some polls. There's a polls tab down there. I put a couple polls in. Feel free to fill out the information there. It's mostly just asking questions like what kind of industry you guys are currently working in right now. And I think if you're familiar with the course that we're presenting on here today, or questions like that. So, and that's it. So feel free to throw into the chat where everyone is joining us from today. I'm actually originally from Ontario. I'm from Niagara Falls. Used to go to Toronto all the time. And now I am living in Alberta. I also lived in BC for a few years too, just in a really small town there. So Supreme, hi, hello, nice to see you. From Vancouver, we got one person that shared a location there. Thanks, thank you very much for that. All right, well, perfect. So I will go ahead and I'll kick off this presentation for us here. I'll make this screen a bit bigger because this is more important than my face. And we'll get this started. Vancouver, Victoria, perfect, awesome. I love Victoria. Grew up in Mexico City, living in Vancouver for over 15 years. Nice. Yeah, I love BC, I love Vancouver, Victoria, I love Mexico, I've been there as well. I don't think I've been to Mexico City though, but okay. All right, well, we'll start this off here. What I'll do before I do anything else is I'm gonna share in the chat the links to the courses. I'm gonna do these one at a time in case this doesn't work properly, but this is the course here that we are discussing today. And I'm gonna share the main link through Circuit Stream. I'm going to share the link through McGill, and I'm going to share the link, through UBC. There we go. It should be all three. So if anyone hasn't had a chance to take a look at the course information before I even get started, feel free to click on those links. You can request a syllabus, and just like the session recording today, it'll get emailed to your inbox. So a lot of folks will request a syllabus while they watch a session, and then once it's done, they kind of go back and take a look through the more fine details of what the course would entail. So feel free to do that if you like. I just wanted to share the links with you guys so you had them there. And then I will start off the presentation and I will introduce myself. So my name is Tyler. I have been with this company for just over 3 years. Actually just had my anniversary at the beginning of August. Before this, I worked in travel and tourism, in hotel world, and just tourism. Did a lot of conferences, big group events, and then of course COVID hit, and I kind of changed my trajectory a little bit there. So I've been in technology and education for about 3 years now, and I love it here. So it's a little bit on me. We will also have a guest joining us today. Her name is Nicha. She's a Circuit Stream Software Development Bootcamp student, And I'm going to share some information first here on the course and just some general information about us. But once I do that, I'll invite her up and she can talk about her experience in the course and kind of what she's working on now. So stay tuned for that in just a few minutes. Yeah, like I said, I'll start with a little intro of Circuit Stream. So we began in 2015 through a network of developers, designers, and creators. And we're now a leading provider of technology learning in different areas like AR, VR, game development and design, product management, software development, and a few other areas as well. We partner with industry-leading companies and leading educational institutions to offer courses and training to those looking to learn more about emerging technologies. You can see on the screen there just a handful of some of our partners on the left. Obviously, we have quite a few more than that, but just some of our partners. And then on the right-hand side, you can see some of our university partners there. So yeah, just to share that information with you guys. So why launch a career in software development? Software developers collaborate with project managers, designers, and end users to understand requirements and translate them into functional software solutions. They're responsible for designing, coding, testing, and maintaining software applications and systems. The combination of intellectual challenge, creative expression, collaboration, and impact make for being a software developer a deeply fulfilling and rewarding profession. On screen, you can see some of the top reasons why somebody might choose to work as a software developer. As I move into the next couple of slides here, there are going to be some stats and stuff. So just in case anybody just joined, I mentioned at the beginning of this session, it will be fully recorded and sent out to everybody after the event has concluded. So feel free to take any notes. You can take pictures, screenshots, you can do anything you like, but you can just relax and wait for the recording afterwards too, if you like. So acquiring software development skills in Canada positions individuals to excel in a variety of industries and contribute to the overall economic growth. The average salary, current average salary for a software development developer in Canada is right now it's at $104,000 per year. And you can see some companies at the bottom that obviously hire. Most companies are going to be hiring for software developers. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. All right, so there are many different titles that software developers are hired for, including programmers, software engineers, software developers, of course, but things like front-end and developers, back-end developers. So basically, once you have gone through education and you're looking for opportunities, what we usually tell people is don't go to LinkedIn and just type in LinkedIn jobs software developer. Be a little bit diverse in your search when you're looking for opportunities, because the skill set can translate to a few different types of roles, and a lot of them are not just titled software developer outright. So software developer opportunities in Quebec are also abundant and varied, especially in major cities like Montreal and Quebec City. The average annual salary for software developers in Quebec is $97,000 per year. And then a little bit about the actual bootcamp itself here. So our hands-on 36-week software development bootcamp is both online and project-based. It has 5 hours of live class per week, 2.5 hours of technical biweekly career labs, and 10 hours of independent study. There are weekly assignments, in-class challenges, portfolio projects, and students complete a capstone project at the end of the bootcamp. Over the course of the 36 weeks, students acquire the skills to master the craft of developing advanced, scalable software systems, including leveraging modern AI tools to code faster and smarter. This foundational course is an excellent starting point for those aiming to establish a career in software development, offering an in-depth introduction to the industry's core practices and emerging trends. So yeah, it's beginner friendly. It definitely starts at an introduction to the industry's core practices, but it is a boot camp, so it will move at a pretty quick pace as you go through, and you'll be tackling some pretty advanced concepts within the first couple months of the course, and of course as you go through towards the end there. So that's a little bit about the course. Our bootcamp graduates emerge with a comprehensive skill set that prepares them for success in the dynamic field of software development. Through in-depth modules like Software Development Foundations, students gain the ability to conceptualize and create solutions to complex problems, fostering critical thinking and analytical reasoning. And sorry, folks, I'm fighting a hiccup right now too, and I feel like I was going to cough. So if I mute for a second, I'm just going to clear my throat. So I apologize, folks. Graduates are also educated in areas like front-end development, full-stack integration, system design, and algorithmic thinking. AI enhanced software development, and more, as you can see on the screen right now. Get some water, yeah. Thank you, Rick. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to take your advice. Thank you. I had a granola bar earlier, and I think that's what's doing it. Sometimes it makes you cough for a bit after. So these are the course outcomes from the Software Development Bootcamp. Students also complete the bootcamp with a software developer certification. This would be either directly from CircuitStream, or of course, if you take the course through one of our university partners, you would get it through CircuitStream in addition to UBC or McGill, as shown on the screen there. And speaking of career development, all of our bootcamps come with ample career support and guidance. We provide career labs that teach students how to leverage technical and behavioral strengths, gain awareness of the digital ecosystem, create compelling portfolios, elevate digital presence, learn how to network effectively, and become interview ready for industry jobs. Our career networking support really sets our programs apart from others that you might find. Every student comes to us with different objectives, but for those who are looking for new jobs, or for those who are looking to improve on their current positions, they find the career development aspect of the course incredibly helpful. And as a part of the career support, our bootcamps come with a student pitch day, which happens towards the end of the program. Students have the opportunity to showcase their capstone projects to hiring and industry partners. Basically, we just get everyone in a room together. We invite the industry partners in. Oftentimes, they're looking to hire. Other times they are just looking for future opportunities and just kind of want to get a good scope of what sort of talent is emerging coming from the new graduates, from the students. So this event is an amazing way to add people to your network if you're a student who's just taken the course, to be considered for job openings, or simply to just receive feedback from industry professionals who are currently working in the field and can give you, invaluable advice as you're kind of breaking into the industry yourself. So a little bit about the pitch day. And here are some examples of our hiring partners for our software development bootcamp. You may see some of these at the pitch days if you're taking a course with us. You can expect to see some of these industry partners at the AMA sessions that we do as well. So in all of our bootcamp courses, we host private Ask Me Anything sessions with industry professionals. So in addition to the pitch day at the end, throughout the middle of the course, you also have the opportunity to connect with industry professionals and seek advice, just ask questions, pick their brains a little bit. And it's a great way to connect with somebody where you might not normally be able to do something like that. So that's a little bit about the course. And now I am going to go ahead and officially invite today's speaker up on stage. As I mentioned earlier, her name is Nicha, and she is one of our Software Development Bootcamp students. So please go ahead and join the stage, Nicha. Perfect. Hello.
Hi.
So I know I gave you a warning earlier, Nicha, but I'm going to make your screen big now too, just so it doesn't startle you when I make it. So thanks for joining us today, Nicha.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you.
Of course. So we can dive right in. I'll just start asking you some of the questions that I have here for you about the course. So
yes,
I guess the first one I'd have for you, Nicha, is how did you hear about the Software Development Bootcamp?
Yeah, I heard about this bootcamp from the internet, actually. I was searching for mobile app, how to create a mobile app, and then this course came up. So I clicked on it and it really got my attention. So I read through the course program and it sounded very attractive to me. And also it included the mobile app module as well. So after seeing and reading through all the modules and the program, I just couldn't really stop thinking about the course for the next few days. So I did more research and talking to some friends, and then that's how I heard about the course.
Amazing. Was it the mobile app that kind of stood out to you most at first? Was that one of the spots you really wanted to dive into?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. All right. And I guess this kind of leads into the question that you just answered. But in addition to the mobile app, was there anything else that kind of motivated you to enroll in the bootcamp?
Yeah, I think I wanted to learn more about technologies, especially new technologies and AI. I kind of considered myself last year that I was a little bit of low tech person. So when this course came up, I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. And maybe I tell you a little bit of my story. Um, at the beginning of this year, I got laid off from my job. So I was kind of thinking about what I should do next with my life. Would I get my job back? But then I need to learn something. I need to be able to up my skills. So then, as I mentioned, this course came up, and then I um, read through the modules, and I thought, yeah, this one excites me. The AI technologies and also the coding programming. And I didn't write any code before, zero coding in my life. So yeah, this course was good for beginner as well. So yeah, that excites me.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, we have a lot of people that ask if the courses are beginner friendly. And oftentimes when you're looking at breaking into an industry and you find something that starts at that introductory level, it's going to, allow you, like you said, you had no coding experience prior. So that's really cool. Okay, so were there specific skills that you were hoping to gain from the bootcamp?
Yeah, just technologies in general. As I mentioned, I consider myself kind of low tech, so I need to upskill a little bit. Um, yeah, so I was hoping to know more of coding because I have been a software user all my life. So now I want to step up and be a developer. So of course, this course would give me that kind of skills, and also to use ChatGPT and other AI to help me to achieve what I wanted to do. So that's also the skills that I was looking forward to, and also to make a mobile app, which is something that I'm keen on at this moment. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, and I've got some questions coming up. I'll ask you a little bit more details about
Okay.
what's in the course specifically too. But no, that's perfect. That's amazing. Actually, I guess I was going to say it's coming up soon. It is the next question I have on the list. So,
Yes.
so what topics and modules were covered in the bootcamp?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a bit more time explaining about the topics and modules in this course. So we will start with the foundation of software development. That's the first module. So we learn HTML, CSS, and also we have an assignment at the end of the course, the module, to make a static personal website and put on GitHub. So I was quite happy to experience GitHub from the early stage of the course because I think I heard about GitHub before, just didn't know what it was. So then I was able to learn how to put my application on GitHub. And then the next module is JavaScript Foundations. So we learn a lot about, well, pretty much everything about JavaScript that you need to know. Variables, functions, iterations, object-oriented programming, DOM, document object model, async, await, JSON, fetch API, and also interactive aspect of the personal website that I did in the previous module. So this module, the JavaScript, was the one that made the website more interactive. And then the next module is the back-end development. So we learn more about the back-end aspect of it, like Node.js, Express.js, creating routing, building basic servers with Express, handling HTTP requests, databases, and we use MongoDB in this course. And at the end of this module, our assignment is to write a note-taking app. And the next module is the full stack integration. So to understand the entire software development, like life cycle, right? To be more equipped as a developer who can work on different aspects of a project and to be able to connect the databases to a full stack application using EJS, and also to design API, and also do the software testing as well, because the testing is very crucial in our work. We learn how to write codes to test the software, and also talking a little bit about the concept of cybersecurity, right? We didn't go too deep on this because it's such a huge topic in itself. But yeah, it was able to cover a little bit of cybersecurity, which is very important these days. The next one that we learn also algorithm and structural foundations. So algorithms and data structures are central to computer science and software development in general. It is typical for a job interview to include one or several questions about problem solving with different algorithms. So yeah, algorithm and structural foundation I found very useful for me to understand, because as I mentioned, I didn't have a background in computer science or even a background for computer in general. So to know algorithm and structural foundations help me to think, help me to see things through clearer in the software development world. I found these modules really very helpful and changed how I think now as well. The next module is front-end development. So we learn tools and frameworks, React and Vite. So at the end of this module, we produce the weather forecast app, which I found it very fun because I'm a user of weather forecast app. Now I produce my own. I was able to connect to the API. I can search the city in this world and it will come up. And I also write a program that shows 3 days weather any part of the world. So that's pretty amazing to be able to do that within just 6 or 7 months in the course. The next module is deployment. So learning about different types of servers, like web servers, email, file, database, VPN, game servers, and etc. Having a database deployed on a server is all about accessibility and scalability. Also, testing is important as well, because to put our app or our work to the server, there's a different stages that we have to test to make sure that our users are happy, user-friendly, and everything goes smoothly. So that's what we learn. And in the deployment module, we use MongoDB Atlas mainly for that. The next one that I was looking forward to, actually this evening I have a class and we're gonna start on mobile development. So I'm kind of looking forward to that today. So I don't know much about mobile development yet because we haven't gone through that yet, but I'm sure that it will be very useful, because my capstone project, I am going to write a mobile app. So today I have to pay attention in the class and the next maybe 12 weeks or so. And also, so that's the list of software development modules, but there are some extras as well that the course will provide, like Tyler already mentioned about career development, the career program. That's really helpful for me. We learn about personal branding. We learn how to present our work, and how to make connection through social medias like LinkedIn, for example, how to look for jobs, how to write resume, and how to prepare and to present ourselves in the interview, right? Actually, before I went for an interview for my current job right now, I quickly emailed this lady who take care of this career program. I quickly email her and say, "Oh, I got an interview coming up next week. Would you be available for me to meet with you for like an hour or so? And she replied, and she was so happy to meet with me. So during the time that I was with her, I was able to tell her everything, my concerns, and I'm nervous, and why am I nervous, with the interview and all that. And she was able to help me to go through my strengths and weaknesses, and also help me to see what I can bring to offer the company. And the questions that she asked just made me think a few things. Yeah. So yeah, she was available right away, and she was really helpful. So a few days later, I had an interview, and I felt confident because of her help as well. And the questions that she asked, I was able to think that through over the next few days before the interview. And I got the job thanks to her. And another extra thing that I want to mention, so the course provides some lab time. This is kind of extra outside the classes. So the labs, we have maybe every 6 weeks or so, we have a lab that will learn more about how we can use what we learn in real life. For example, how we can use AI to help us to write some programming, or how to use databases and all that thing. And I found the lab is really useful because we really get the chance to practice what we learn. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm so excited. I want to see, I'm going to come to your pitch day so I can see your mobile app development project. I want to see what it looks like when you do it. Now I feel like especially connected since we've been chatting leading up to this, and now I'm hearing kind of your story through the course. So I'm really excited to see your project as well. So, but amazing. This is the amazing feedback. Thank you. All right. So, I mean, you kind of elaborated in your last response there in a few different areas that you so far have really enjoyed, but was there one part of the bootcamp in particular so far that's kind of been the most standout or the most rewarding to you?
There are many rewarding moments, I think. I think my first month, which was the HTML and CSS, kind of learning very basic foundation. But because from someone who never done coding before, and within a month, I was able to have my personal website that I wrote using programming skills, and to put up on GitHub. I think that was really rewarding. I was just sitting after I handed in my project, I was just sitting there and like, wow, only within a month, I was able to do this, so it gave me hope to be able to move on. And yeah, other rewarding moment, I think more for me through assignments, because we have several assignments, and each assignment really empowered me to feel that, okay, now I can pretty much solve many problems that I never thought that I would be able to before, and to make things interactive, and to learn how to make our app attractive and draw users, and to think about them, to think about how this can contribute to the society. I think that's kind of all these things is really rewarding, and I have many moments through this course. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Let me see here. So out of the projects that you've done so far and the assignments, I know you're kind of doing mobile app now, and you'll be doing your final project soon, but are there any projects that you've done so far, assignments that kind of stood out to you too?
Yeah, I think the one that I enjoyed also the note-taking app. So writing an app, note-taking, you have to put your note into the database, and also being able to access, and also having many other people, other users to access the app through username and password to set all that. I enjoy that a lot because I did have a bit more time on it. I like the aspect of combining the front end, the back end is more like full stack um, assignment. Um, and and then I was able to share that with other persons to use the app as well. Yeah, and now I am using my own note-taking app. I used to use, note-taking app on somewhere, right? But now I'm using my own, and I'm going to combine my note-taking app to the weather forecast. So now in one app, I can see both. That is really useful information for me. Yeah.
That's got to feel pretty rewarding, like creating something and then
Yes.
replacing, because I use my notepad on my phone 20 times a day. So if I'd created my own app for that and I started using that, I would just feel a good sense of accomplishment every time I opened it, I think.
Yeah, and to have users using note-taking app, you know, I, yeah, I was able to get people to contribute to notes. They can communicate within the app as well if they want to, or they can have a personal personal notes, right? That only them can see. So yeah, I think that's kind of fun to have to think through and to design. Yeah.
I love that. This is great. Okay. All right. How was the support from instructors and peers throughout the course, or how has it been? I guess you're still in it. So.
Yeah, so we are 100% online.
Mm-hmm.
So we have classes, 2 classes per week, Tuesdays and Thursday in my course that I'm taking right now. My instructor is amazing. He's very experienced, and more importantly, he knows how to teach. He's able to explain programming in the way that students can understand. And it seems to me that there's no problem that he cannot solve. He's writing some codes live, like on the spot, because when students ask like how would you do this, he would write from scratch. And if he got stuck, and often we get stuck with errors, right, then he would teach us from that error messages, like, okay, if it came up like this, what it means, right? And that's really useful for us to know, because we will get that a lot. And then he's always solve the problem, and he will let us know and explain everything. Yeah, so that's really, to me, that's really supportive. And also, he's really approachable after classes. We can email him and or connect through Discord, and he would answer and look at our codes and give us feedback after the hours as well. So yeah, so I'm very thankful to the instructor. I think instructors plays really significant roles in the course. And with people in the course, other students, yeah, lots of questions that they ask in the course, very helpful also, because sometimes I don't think the same way as they do, or most of the times. So when they ask questions, I feel like, oh, okay, that's how you see things from a different perspective, and you hear the instructor answer those questions, right? So yeah, and we support each other. I think we were able to interact in the course as well, and sometimes we work together during the course.
Amazing, amazing. And out of curiosity, which instructor do you have?
Ben.
Amazing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just they're all amazing. But just hearing your feedback on how approachable and stuff, I'll make sure I let them know that there's some really positive feedback coming from the class too. So I love that. And you mentioned the Discord. Just for anybody in the crowd, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not, but we do have a private Discord server for our students. And when you go through a course, you get added into it. And once you complete the course, you get to stay in that server. So, people who've taken the boot camp or people who've taken other boot camps or, whatever the case may be, it's just kind of a big support system for people to kind of work together, connect, share ideas, ask questions. So just because I don't think I mentioned the Discord server earlier, but you mentioned it in your answer. So I just wanted to make sure people knew what that kind of looked like for the students there too. So perfect. All right. And then what can you tell us about your current role? And I know you said that you got the job with a bit of support from the career and with the boot camp here, but maybe share what you currently do.
Yeah. So I have been working in movie industries for pretty much all my life, more than 10 years. Before I took this course, I work as visual effects artist, or to be specific, I'm a compositor, producing visual effects for movies. So that has been my career most of my life. And then, as I mentioned earlier this year, because of the tech industry and movie industry might get affected by many things, they have to let people go. Many of us had to, have to do something different for quite a few months. So now because I took this boot camp and I have the software development skills and coding skills, so I then apply for a job at a company at Sony. So now I am working for Sony ImageWorks, and Sony has been the company that I have been wanting to work for many years, but wasn't able to get in. But this time, I think because I put bootcamp, the software development bootcamp skill in my resume, I then got invited for an interview. And during the interview, they of course asked me about the skills that I learned, which is more than what my role required. So yeah, I was able to talk about my new passion of programming, and also how that knowledge can contribute to my future path. Right. So then the company that I was hoping to work for opened the door for me, and now I'm still doing similar work than before taking the boot camp, but now I am able to apply a different mindset into this role, and having more vision to go deeper into coding in the future when I'm ready, and when the company has roles for me to go down that path in the future, then I will grab it. Yeah.
That's so inspiring. I love that you're working for the company that you've kind of always wanted to end up working for. That's really, really cool. Amazing. There's a comment in the chat here too. It just said about the course. I think it was during the last answer, but just that they really like that the course is online. Been operating my own business entirely remotely for the last 3 years, and I greatly prefer the ease and convenience of working this way. Yeah, we do too, Josh. We totally understand. So, okay, cool. So, did you have any access to networking opportunities during the bootcamp? I guess we kind of touched on this a little bit, but maybe talk about your connections with other students.
Yeah. So we start adding each other through LinkedIn. And actually last week I met with one of my classmates in person, and learn about his life a little bit. Now he moved to the US and trying to land a job in software development as well. So yeah, those networking, I think, will go far, because our students, my classmates probably would go in a different directions, right, in software development. So that will open up more opportunities and perspectives in a different field, but still within software development. So we're still able to support each other. Yeah. So networking, very important, and this course definitely give that opportunities. And also, we sometimes we had different instructors in case our instructors are not around, like maybe sick or taking holiday. We have a different instructors, and they would encourage us to connect with them through LinkedIn as well. So we have even more people that we can connect with. And of course, those instructors are people who work in the real world, in the companies that we might have heard of as well. So yeah, it's good connections.
I was just going to say that. I often forget that our instructors, they work for us, but they're often also working in full software development senior roles in large companies that are recognizable too. So really, really good networking there as well. And they're definitely on your team. You know, they're your instructors. They just want to be there to support. And once you finish the course, they're super excited to see everyone kind of take off too. So I'm sure if you reached out after the course and asked some questions about software development, they'd still be happy to connect with you too. So cool. Okay. And then just a couple more questions here. Have you, well, I guess you kind of touched on a lot of these as we go through because it just naturally happens, but are there any specific skills in the boot camp that you learned that you're kind of doing in your job right now on a daily basis?
Yeah. I think last week I was in my day job, let's call day job, which is my full-time job as a visual effects artist. Last week I had to write scripts and organize something for the team to work on. And in the past, I would do it manually. But now, because of these coding skills that I have learned, I think differently now. I think it's more mindset at this point because, you know, I'm still a student, so I still need more practice. But the mindset to want to approach problems or challenges differently, I think is already with me now. So last week I was able to write kind of simple code to help with that that software to be able to go kind of more flow. And now with any changes, it will just automatically produce what I want. So I think for me, yeah, I look at it and I thought, oh, okay, this is great. This is really worth it. And I'm sure that in my job in the future, there will be more opportunities of that because I think it's also how you want to use it in your daily life as well, or in your job, right? The more you practice, the more you use, the more you think that way, it will open up more opportunities. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's got to be incredibly rewarding too, just like when you're learning something in a boot camp and then you get to go into your job and apply that exact skill set to what you're doing at work. And yeah, that's just really neat. I love to see it. I hear it all the time from our students, but it's always inspiring to hear. So when Eugene, I think you just added a question to the chat there. You can leave it there if you want, but we are going to loop back and do some audience Q&A in just a few minutes. So if you want, just copy that question you have in the chat and just throw it into the questions tab, Eugene, and we'll make sure we don't miss it there, just in case this goes, the chat kind of moves up by the time we get to the Q&A. I just want to make sure I don't miss it. Yeah, awesome, thumbs up, cool. All right, and then let's see. Oh yeah, how do you plan to continue growing your software development skills in the future?
Yeah, I think probably two aspects. One is my work and one is leisure time, right? So I think for my work, you know, in movie industry and many industry probably heading the same way is using more technologies, right? So I think with my work, there would be opportunities to learn more and to go into a deeper end of new technology, right? And that probably would include some coding or understanding coding, you know, at least. So I would just continue to look for opportunities and learn something new and perhaps, changing roles in the future just to make things more interesting and to grow, you know, in career. And also for my leisure time, I do want to make a mobile app that works. So that will be my goal as well. So as I mentioned, for my capstone project, I will do a mobile app and hoping to write something that it can grow later after this course. I will continue to add more features, making it even better. I can tell you a little bit about my idea because I actually have a background in psychology and counseling. So I probably would write an app that reflect my interest in that field, more like maybe psychology counseling thing, which is a huge topic. But yes, that will be something that I will do to continue growing in this field.
I love that. I love when you're combining existing skill sets or things that you've kind of worked on previously in your life too. And I didn't know that about you either. I didn't know that was your background, psychology. So it's really, really, really cool. And a little comment in the chat here. Excellent to hear about learning about learning how your mindset has shifted as well. I can't read right now for some reason. I imagine this has impacted even outside of the work environment for you, which is probably accurate. So that's
Yes,
cool.
yes.
Cool. All right, so just two more questions here. The second last question I have is, what advice would you give to someone who's considering getting into software development or looking at taking a course or a boot camp or something like this?
Yeah. If you have not done any programming before, you can do this. You can do this course for sure because that was me too. But my advice would be, setting aside maybe extra times, extra hours during the week, 10, 15, 20, however you need to be able to understand what you just learned from the class. And to practice and to learn more by yourself. Like I had to look up on a lot of documents and also YouTube, some YouTube channel, they do teach coding as well. So yeah, I had to spend extra times to catch up on that. So I think if you have not done any coding before, I think that would be a must. And yeah, so my first few months in the course, actually, I found it very difficult for me. It's like going into the deep end of software development. And my brain could not really understand JavaScript or data structure. But yeah, as I said, I spend extra time and really try hard to understand. Then after a few modules, things start to come together. My first module, I was like, okay, what is this about? How can I apply? And then the second module and the third module, it start to fall into places, or how this interact with that. And you get to see results. So my advice for you would be, if you do take this course and you find it very hard and fast the first month or so, don't quit. Keep going. Just adjust your schedule and timetable to accommodate this course if you want to make it to the end. I think that would be my advice. And another advice as well is that because this course lasts about 9 months and it's a boot camp, of course, it's going fast. And maybe let your friends or family members know that this is what you are doing so they can support you. So they can understand that maybe, you don't have much time like before to hang out or to meet with them, because you have to also organize your life a little bit differently. Your routine's a bit different. Let them know. They would understand. They would be happy that you succeed, right? But it's good to communicate in advance so that you can take this course with peace and ease. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's perfect feedback. It's oftentimes people ask about a bootcamp experience, and I think you just kind of summed it up beautifully. Boot camps move very quickly. They start, at the very base level, and you don't have to have any experience, but they do progress pretty quickly, and you start tackling some advanced concepts pretty quickly as you go through. So, yeah, for anybody who's looking at doing a boot camp, usually the best mindset to be in is just kind of buckle down while you go through it and give it as much energy as you can, and spend some extra time on it. Most people I know, when they're taking courses or boot camps, they'll do the classwork, then they usually end up taking a good chunk of additional time, especially if they're really intrigued or interested, because they just want to dive in and make sure they fully understand the concepts as you're going through each of the modules. But I also love to hear that you say, by the second or third module, you kind of see how things overlap and how they start to work together and come together. Because that's also a huge part. It's, the very beginning, it seems so overwhelming. It's, coding itself is basically learning a whole different language, and then you're also learning software development in addition to that. So, yeah, it's that's perfect response. It's very intense when you take any boot camp, but you can absolutely do it. You don't have to have any sort of prior experience. Just adjust your life to make sure that it works for you while you go through. So. And then I only had one last question for you, Nicha, and this one's really easy. Where can people find and connect with you?
Yeah, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best for me. So just my name, and yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Perfect. And likewise, if anybody wants to connect with me after the session here today, just search my name, Tyler Trapp, and you can search Circuit Stream. And I should be the only one that pops up on LinkedIn when you do that. If there's another one of me working at Circuit Stream, that would be news to me. But so amazing. So Nicha, we're going to do some audience Q&A here in about 3 minutes. I'm just going to slide you over to the side here, and I'm going to make this one big, and I'm going to share a little bit of information about our upcoming courses, the pricing information. We've got some early bird promotions in place, so I'll share that with you guys too. And like 3 slides, and then I'll flip back and we'll do the Q&A there with Nicha. So let me go ahead here. So I'll start off with the course pricing, if that's okay with everyone. So this bootcamp, the regular price for this bootcamp is $14,995. Like I mentioned before, though, we do have early bird rates in place. So right now, if you were to register by November 22nd for the upcoming cohorts, it is 15% off. And then once that window closes, we have a 10% window that would run straight through till December 19th. Keep in mind that these promotions are only available as long as there are seats available in the courses in the time slots. So if you are interested, I do suggest that you kind of reach out sooner rather than later, just to confirm the availability. I don't know how full it is. It might be getting close to sold out by now. Software development is probably our most popular course right now as it stands, so it does tend to fill up pretty quick. But these are the payment options there. We also have payment plans available, so if somebody was looking to take the course, if you have any questions about that, just reach out to the admissions team here. I'm going to share the contact information in just a second, and they can give you more details about what the payment plans would look like. In terms of the upcoming cohorts, we will have 2 dates running here. The next one will start in February on the 11th, and we'll run straight through to October. And then shortly after that, we have another one starting in March on the 11th, and that one will run straight through till December. So we run a few of these cohorts every year. We'll probably have another 2 or 3 dates, I'm sure, announced past these dates throughout the rest of the year. But in terms of the upcoming cohorts and what those discounts would be applicable for, the early birds would be for these courses here. So, and then, yeah, I said contact information. So if you want to reach out to us, the catch-all at the very top is Circuit Stream, the admissions at circuitstream.com. You can't go wrong with that one. It'll go straight through. But of course, we are also connected through UBC and McGill, and our team covers those emails as well. So I just say the admissions one's kind of the main one, but the UBC and the McGill one, they'll also be responding to directly. So feel free to reach out to any of those 3 emails. You can also call any of those 3 phone numbers, and the admissions team associated with the universities or through Circuit Stream will answer and kind of go over any questions that you might have. They can let you know if there's availability for the courses, what payment plan information, all that kind of stuff. So, and at the beginning of this session, I did share links in the chat for the course pages. So if you missed that at all, just scroll all the way to the top of the chat log there, and you should be able to click it, and you can go right to the course pages that way too. You can download a syllabus. You can take a look, just more detailed information. And that's it. So I just wanted to share some of the upcoming info for you guys in case anyone is looking at registering for the course. And now I will go ahead and close this part and bring us back up here. And we can take a look at the questions, Nicha, and see. And between Nicha and myself, we'll do our best to answer. If it's more about the courses of the company, it'll probably land on me. If it's more specifically about the course experience, then Nicha will probably kind of answer from her side there too. So, or of course, if you ask her something directly or me, then we'll just answer accordingly. So what is the employment offer success rate from Pitch Day? So I don't want to answer this with any number right now because I don't have stats in front of me, but the absolute best thing you could do, Santiago, would be to reach out to the admissions team. And I believe they can set up meetings with you and our career team, or at the very least, they can confirm the most accurate stats that we have. I know that we keep track of all the graduation stats, all the students who are moving into positions as they're going through the course or once they can complete the course. I know that we had a good stat of a very solid number of students who had achieved work before they even finished the course, which Nicha would kind of fall into that category as well, because she's still in the course and she got her job at Sony ImageWorks doing what she's doing right now, crediting the course for that. But so I don't want to give any numbers. I don't have stats in front of me right now, Santiago, but we can absolutely give you that information if you reach out to the admissions team. I know that the success rates are quite high and they do well. So just to give you a bit of confidence there, but I don't have exact numbers in front of me right now. So that's probably the best thing you can do is just reach out to the admissions team and they'll give you specifics there. Okay. What does the foundational level of competency look like for someone new in the field at the time of finishing the bootcamp? Would it be possible to see some examples of the capstone projects? Absolutely. So again, I don't have a file or a link of this. I'm on the marketing team at CircuitStream, so I only have access to specific things when I'm doing these, but we absolutely do have that information, Rick. We've got lots of capstone projects. We can share that sort of stuff with you. And we also do it in different areas. We have different game development, game design. We've got lots of capstone projects in those fields too that you can take a look at. The reason I say that is because I know they've had quite a few more cohorts. The software bootcamp for us is a little bit newer when compared to like our game development bootcamp that's been running for like 3 years, for example. So we can kind of give you stats on both sides, but the admissions team would be the best people to connect with for that. And they can probably send you some links directly to in a follow-up email with capstone projects that you can take a look at. So and I do apologize for anybody. I don't have like a whole resource file here that I can just kind of throw stuff in or share up on the screen right now. Really good idea actually for future. I'd like to have some capstone projects that I can just throw up quickly for these types of questions, but we do have it. We have the information. We've got the content. We can absolutely show you. I just don't have it right now. So did you make your app? I don't know, Josh, if this question is for Nicha, or if it was probably for Nicha.
Yeah, it's probably for me. Did I make my app? Yes, I would say I make my app, and I did ask AI to help me. And the AI that I have been using, ChatGPT, Cursor, and also Copilot. So all of this kind of helping me in terms of writing an app.
Cool. Yeah, GitHub Copilot's great too. All right. So this is a question for you, Nicha. What was it like to learn this topic for the first time? How did you feel about learning this new unfamiliar topic? And you kind of shared on this already a little bit, I guess, but how did you feel about the support you got when you didn't understand things or when you were feeling stuck?
Yeah, I think it started with what I wanted to head into my life, I think, and that probably would determine how I feel about it. As I mentioned, I want to upskill my technology. So that got me excited before I enrolled to the course. So because of that perspective, I think everything that I have been learning for the first time, like opening up VS Code, uh, opening up GitHub, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all these things excites me. It keeps exciting. Just so I think I feel fulfilled and I feel satisfied when I can write a code that works. And I feel empowered when I see issues and problems that I need to learn how to solve. So I think that's my general feeling about learning something new. But I think it starts with knowing what you want to use with that skill. Taylor, I think you muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Nicha. So yeah, the second part I was just saying is that you just asked about, what kind of support did you get when you didn't understand something? And I know Nicha was mentioning earlier that it was quite easy to connect with the instructor and kind of reach out, and he was really responsive that way too. So
I did get a lot of support actually. Instructors will be someone that I would go first, because after each class, I seem to be the one who always have questions, not problem, but questions. So I would say, "Oh, Ben, could you stay for a few minutes?" And he would stay and explain things to me. So I try to ask question as soon as I have, so that I can move on to the next one, right? Otherwise, it will stay with me for too long, and I don't like that. Next support that I go to would be resources online. I also ask AI certain things like, okay, I have this code, it didn't work. Can you help me why it didn't work? Or the codes work, but I don't understand this set. So I would ask AI, can you explain each line for me? And AI would explain to me. I also have friends who software developers that I meet and ask in person when I want to do something, but I don't fully understand. So I think supports will be very important for you to try to think what would work best for you to help you through this course, for sure.
amazing. Okay, let's jump into the next one here. For those wanting to go directly into the startup world, what types of ideas would I be able to build on my own when I finish the program? If I'm not working for a company, FANG, what should alumni focus on to ensure they continue to grow and learn? So, I mean, it's tough to say, like, what types of ideas would I be able to build on my own when I finish the program? Anything within kind of the scope of what you're learning in the course, I guess, like mobile app development would be one. Like if you were looking like Nicha to build a mobile app, that would be something that would be kind of within your realm. Now what the mobile app does would be completely up to you. Like you'd have to be a little bit creative on your own with your ideas and kind of figure out what it is that you actually want to achieve with it. But the boot camp would more so kind of give you the skill set that you'd need, not so much like the ideas that you'd be able to generate after. That would be kind of up to you. You'd say, okay, now I know the foundations of how to develop a mobile app, or I know how to develop this, or I know how to use this coding language. And then outside of that, you could say, okay, I want to create a weather app and I want to be able to see, what the weather's going to tell me. And I'm just using an example from the course, but that would be a type of an idea of something that you'd be able to build on your own once you finish the program. But realistically, like the types of ideas are kind of limitless. It would just be more so just leaning into your skill set that you learned within the course to execute that and to get it up and off the ground. So I hope that makes sense, Rick. But
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
I can add a little bit. I think, different people find ideas from different sources, right? I think for me, I always try to find what is close to my heart first. What am passionate about, to get some ideas, and what excites me, right? What makes you feel satisfied. So for me, if I need to give advice, I think I probably would start with that. But for some people, they might get ideas from something that, okay, I never done this before. I want to challenge myself. So find something that you have never done. That could be a way to get some ideas as well. Or depends on your life goal as well, how you see yourself in 5 years, and you might want to start something now and build bits by bits, every day, every project, you learn to build that also could be another way as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you might even connect with other students in the class and come up with some ideas that way too. Just sometimes it's like a brainstorming session without even realizing it. You just, mention one thing and then you chat with somebody, and then 10 minutes later you've come up with a whole idea that you didn't even know that was going to happen. So conversation's really good for that too. Okay, where does the content and information for each module come from? Is it written by Circuit Stream staff, accessible only in the LMS, or is it generally links to resources? Yeah, so all the content is created through Circuit Stream. We bring in professionals to put our courses together. And then oftentimes a lot of the professionals end up being instructors for the courses too. But it's all professionally sourced and it's all created through Circuit Stream and put out. So there's, there could be an example of maybe a couple things throughout the course that maybe like an instructor might say, like, hey, like, let's check out this YouTube video that I found in my own personal time that I think is great and might help you understand this a bit more. But the actual course content itself is all curated and through Circuit Stream and created that way. So it's not, there's no general links like outside of that that's available online. Okay, how many hours of extracurricular study are recommended to keep the pace? So this is a tough question. I'm going to let Nicha kind of answer this too. But I mean, the realistic answer here is it's going to vary for everyone. It's going to depend on your learning capabilities, how quickly you grasp certain concepts versus other people, kind of what you have going on overall in your life. So, some people are able to dedicate more time than others. If you are working in a full-time job, you might not be able to dedicate as much time as somebody who is not kind of in a position as they go through the course. But I think the bigger thing is kind of what I said initially. It all just depends on how quickly you grasp concepts. You might surprise yourself. You might go into something and say, hey, I have no idea what this is. And then you're actually grasping it a lot quicker than you thought. Or you may go in and say, this is going to be challenging. I'm learning a whole new coding language. I have no experience with this prior. I probably should give some extra time throughout the week outside of my course hours to make sure that I fully understand it. And so that I'm kind of moving into the next modules with the best understanding that I can. So it's hard to give an exact amount there, but usually what I say to people, and I've been working for this company for a while, actually was in an admissions role like way back, and people would ask me how much extra time they should kind of dedicate throughout the week. And I usually say at least a few hours. Like you're definitely going to want to dedicate at least a few extra hours throughout the week outside of the live class times. It really kind of comes down to how dedicated you are. If you're really motivated, you might want to spend like a ton of extra time. You might get excited by it. You might go in and watch a whole bunch of extra YouTube videos. You might just dive into different areas. But I'd say at the very least, probably a few extra hours a week in addition. But I'll let Nicha answer, just because Nicha said that she did have some struggles near the beginning of the course with some of the core understanding and coding. And maybe you can kind of share a little bit of what that experience looked like for you.
Yeah, it really varies. Myself, I had to put maybe full time for me to start with, because as I mentioned, I didn't know anything at all about software development, never coded before. So I had to learn from scratch. I put, I would say 30 hours, 35 hours per week. But because I was able to do it, I didn't have a job at that time. So, and I knew that later on in the course, I may pick up some work, full-time job. So I kind of planned it that in the beginning, I put everything that I could to understand the course as much as I could while I had time. And also English is not my first language. So I have that on top of me to understand some terminologies. So that's why I had to put a lot of time. But some of my classmates, they work full time throughout the whole course, and they were okay. So I think different people, different circumstances, different needs in terms of extra time. But I would say you do need to put extra times. That's for sure. How many hours depends on your learning skills, as Taylor said, your circumstances and responsibilities in life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, the biggest thing too, like even coding, like you were saying English isn't your first language. Well, neither is coding. Yeah. You basically learn, you had to lean into English in some areas where you may not know everything, but then you also had to basically learn a whole new language, which is coding. So that's one thing I do let people know is if you don't have any prior experience, you're probably going to want to dedicate some extra time, at the very least, at the beginning of the course, because that's when you're going to be learning the core concepts and learning a full coding language that's going to allow you to kind of progress through the rest of the course. So, but even within that, I mean, we've had students who have never touched it, and it's probably the exception. But somebody can just walk in sometimes and just learn coding so quickly, and I'm like, people are everyone's so different. Like I couldn't imagine learning a whole language that easy, but there's people who go in and learn Spanish way faster than somebody else that's taking a Spanish course with them. So, it kind of comes down to the individual there. But okay, does the average salary quoted at the start of the stream apply to software development certificate graduates as with this course, or more specifically? No, so Eugene, this is just for people working in the industry overall, which would be comprised of a whole bunch of people that have bachelor's or software degrees, or people who have gone through boot camps who have certificates. I guess like the bigger answer here is that we connect with a lot of hiring professionals, a lot of people who are working in industry. And I ask them all the time, like, what are you looking for? Who are you hiring? What does the scope look like? And the reality is it's quite a bit different than it used to be years ago. There's a lot of people who are going through with no prior education other than just a boot camp or certificate, and they're doing incredibly well. I know a lot of hiring managers who are looking to hire those people specifically sometimes because they've got the skills and they're a little bit more readily available sometimes to jump right into the work. So, but realistically, it's going to be comprised of both. You're going to have a whole pool of people that are coming into the industry who have certificate education, who have bachelor's education, university, college education. At the end of the day, it kind of depends on what you can display. If you go into an interview and they're looking for somebody with a specific skill set, and that bootcamp taught you that skill set, and you can show them that you understand it, chances are you're going to be very qualified for the position, regardless of whether or not you have like a bachelor's or something else on your resume as well. But then having said that, there could be some companies that won't look at anybody without a specific university certification. So, again, it's a tough thing to answer out the gate, but I can tell you that there is a ton of opportunity for people going through boot camps, and a ton of people gain positions without any additional education in the area after doing the boot camps with us. So, okay. Did you take classes? Oh, this is for you, Nicha. Did you take classes in the evening or earlier in the day? If it was the evening, did you feel that it was harder on the learning?
The classes at the boot camps in the evening, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Do I feel it hard? Not really, because I guess because I knew that my class would be in the evening. So during the day, I would prepare myself. I make sure that I look after myself well and had good sleep, and all that you have to prepare. So I guess because I know and I plan, so it's not as hard. Yeah, it's not as hard. I think I answered the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it all kind of depends too on I think we have different time slots available. We do for certain boot camps, so don't quote me. I do apologize if you reach out to admissions and they say there's only one time slot for this. I think we have more than one though. But yeah, it all just kind of depends. Like if you're working throughout the day, then an evening option is probably going to be your only choice. But if you're not, then you can kind of do some other stuff there. But I think the bigger thing too, Rick, is just when you're doing a boot camp, just be kind of prepared to dive in head first for the full time that you're in the boot camp. And whether or not you're taking the classes kind of earlier in the day or later in the day, it's just better to be kind of in the right mindset for it. Like Nicha was saying, just get yourself kind of into the right headspace for it too. So
Yeah, like today, I am working, so I'll go back to work, and then this evening I have my class at 6:30. So between my job and my class, I would go for a walk and make sure I get fresh air. Make sure that okay, my mindset shift now to prepare for the class. So yeah, there might be a few extra things that you need to do to make yourself go through another 3-4 hours of the class, but it is doable if you put your mind on it. It's doable.
yeah, like take a walk, drink some water, get some food. Even I mean, if you have enough time and you feel you need it, take a half-hour power nap. Do whatever you need to do to kind of get yourself ready for it. So
Yeah, or I can eat my dinner and doing the class at the same time. That's the beauty of online classes.
that's true, and you can be in your pajama pants too, and no one will know. So. um, Okay, I only have time in the evening or later in the afternoon. How can I attend these classes? So this is kind of the same sort of thing we were just touching on. I think there are different time slots available, but there are definitely evening options available. So if you want, Jumbo, just go take a look at the course page, and you can kind of see, I think there's different time slots available that'll show you right on the course page. Or if you want, just reach out to admissions@circuitstream.com, and they can give you all the time slot options. They can let you know what the availability is looking like for the upcoming cohorts, and they can kind of answer anything like that. But I believe there's time slot options available for the software course, and there's certainly evening classes available there. So I know so because Nicha's in them. So.
Actually, one thing I like to add in terms of classes. The course I'm taking provide recorded classes as well. So if I have commitment and to have to do something else and cannot attend the class, I can watch the video tomorrow or the next day as well. So it's not like I will miss. But yeah, you are encouraged to attend live classes for sure. But some days, if you cannot, there's videos recording.
Yeah, that's amazing. Really, really good point. I should have mentioned that too. Yeah, all similar to this live event here today, all of the classes are recorded, and then you have access to it afterwards. So even if you did attend, if you wanted to kind of go back and refresh yourself on something that was talked about in the class, you can do that. And like Nicha said, we do encourage you to attend the majority, if not all, of the live classes if you can. But in the cases where you can't, obviously this is a great way for you to go back and watch it. Life happens. You might have to run to an appointment, or a friend shows up that you haven't seen in years and you want to sit and have a coffee. You can always go back and watch that class afterwards. So do you offer a co-op program after the bootcamp to help with finding a job? So it's not, it's more of a career support program that we offer versus a co-op program. So we don't guarantee placement once you've kind of gone through the course. But we connect you with industry professionals who are looking, like oftentimes our students will get hired for contract work or internships, it's quite often people will come in, industry professionals, and they'll watch all the projects, and then they'll reach out to us afterwards and be like, yeah, we're going to be hiring the next 4 or 5 months. And like, thank you so much for inviting us today. We're absolutely going to be reaching out to some of your students, so kind of all depends on whether or not there's availability right away at a pitch day, or if employers are looking for things kind of for future state. So yeah, that's the best way to say it. It's not a placement co-op sort of program. It's more of a career support program, but they'll help you with resume building, with the interview process, interview prep. They'll go through all that, do like kind of mock things with you. The course itself prepares you in terms of having a portfolio of projects that you can kind of present. And then we do things like the pitch day, where we'll connect you directly to industry professionals. And then we'll obviously give you additional tools in your belt so that you can also reach out to industry professionals and look for opportunities at the same time there. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question, Hassan. Okay. How confident does Nicha feel now to build whatever she wants? Do you feel like you can build on your own whatever you want, or do you still feel that other training would be needed to realize your ideas into software that you want to make?
I cannot say that I'm confident to build anything that I want. I'm still very new to programming. I think it will take me a lot longer to say that I'm confident to build anything that I want. However, um, being able to communicate and tell AI what you want to build is also essential. And that's what I learned in this course. I learned how to ask AI to build what I want it to build. Uh, for example, say the weather forecast app. If I'm stuck and I want it to do certain things, then I should have ability to tell AI to help me with certain areas. And if you can do that, then yes, you can build pretty much anything. But then, of course, you need to know how to code as well, because you have to go through those code and to change things to how you want to. Yeah. So no, to answer shortly, no, I'm not confident to build anything that I want yet. I hope one day I would be able to say that. And yes, I have to keep practicing, keep making more projects, and I think that's the way to go.
And honestly, I feel like if I asked any developer who's been working in their job for years and would be considered kind of like a senior professional, if I asked them that same question, I feel like a lot of them would answer the same and say, I don't feel like I would be confident to do anything, because a lot of times you're forever learning in roles like this, any sort of development roles. And like you said too, Nicha, like you could go and ask AI. Similarly, you can go and watch like YouTube tutorials that are in very niche areas of software development for one specific thing that you would never understand unless you had the base concept that the bootcamp kind of provided for you first, or the core concepts that the bootcamp provides. So you can kind of do anything in a sense, Nicha, because you could almost use the tools that you've learned and the skill set that you have. It would just, you'd have to do a little bit of additional learning to get to whatever goal that you want to, but you kind of have the base there. So, it's, yeah, I think like the most experienced software developer that's been doing this for years probably wouldn't answer with full confidence in that question either. So it's a forever learning job for sure. So, our class is recorded in case I miss. They are, yeah, we were just mentioning that a minute ago. All the classes are recorded and accessible afterwards there. Question for you, Nicha. Have you used your knowledge to adapt to VFX compositing after the course? How do you think it helps with your current position?
Yeah, I have used a bit, as I mentioned before, now the mindset that I have to solve problems and to do things a bit differently. So yes, I have been applying that in my day job, but I do have to learn more Python, because Python is used a lot more in visual effects. So I think that will be the area that after this course, I plan to use what I learned to go move on to Python. And I think that would become more useful in the future with visual effects work. But learning JavaScript from this course lay me a very strong foundation of programming and how you can see and understand and think the principle of programming. And I think once you learn one language, I think it's become, I would say, maybe become easier to move on to another language, whatever language you need or you want to learn. Yeah. You muted again.
Muted again, yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth, Nicha. I was just going to say, once you go into learning Python, you'll probably find that it's easier now that you have more of a core understanding of coding languages in general. So same thing, like in our video game development course, we teach using C#, for example, in Unity. And we have a lot of people asking in the video game development, like what if I want to develop using Unreal, like C# versus C++? And the reality is again, they're different languages, but French and Italian and Spanish are all different languages, but there's so much overlap between the three of them, and it's very similar in coding languages. So it's not exactly the same, but if you have a base understanding of one, it's going to be way easier for you to learn another one. So, okay, I'm interested in building applications in Rust, Clang, or another compiled language. Does CodeStream offer a software development bootcamp? So CircuitStream, does CircuitStream offer a software development bootcamp in one of those languages? You were in the course right now, Nicha. Does it overlap with any of these languages here specifically? I don't think so.
No. Yeah, not Rust, not Clang, no.
Yeah, so it's kind of the answer we were just getting there is probably the best one, Chris. It's once you learn any coding language, it's going to be quite a bit easier to apply that and learn other ones. But and specifically in the course, we don't cover those. But I'd say too, Chris, if you want, go to download the syllabus, go to circuitstream.com, click on the Software Development Bootcamp, and just request the syllabus. It'll get emailed to you. You can take a really close look at all the different areas. And I think within the syllabus, it also lists all the tools that are kind of used and like the languages that we'd be using in the course. So a great way for you to kind of just take a look overall and then see if that would apply for what you were hoping for there. But yeah, one coding language, you'll be able to learn another one much easier. So does this course qualify for the Canada Lifelong Learning Plan program? That is a great question. Our admissions team is pretty well versed in terms of any available funding that would be applicable for any of our courses. So Adnan, I don't know if this one would be available. I know that there are different types of funding options that would be applicable. It would also depend kind of on which province you're in, and probably a few other factors there too. So the best thing I'd say is connect with the admissions team. Again, I know I say that a lot when people ask questions that I can't give an answer to, but the reality is they have the answers and they'll be able to kind of give you guys the tools that you need to make a decision on some of these things. So yeah, reach out to the admissions at circuitstream.com, shoot them an email, and you can ask for specifically about that one. Also, if you go to our website, Adnan, if you go to circuitstream.com, click on the software development course and have a scroll through that page. I think there's an area on there that talks about funding and financing and a couple things as well. And there might even be some options available there for you to click and look at what sort of funding plans other students have found success with. So I know for certain things, like if you're in Ontario, like OSAP wouldn't qualify for this because the course itself isn't a high enough price point, but there are other funding options and this could certainly be one of them. So yeah, just reach out to the admissions team and they'll be able to kind of give you a good answer on that one there. Does the course include pair programming projects? Yes. So you can, as far as I know, Nicha, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can work on your final capstone project either on your own, or I think you can work on it with other people in the course as well.
Actually, no.
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe not. That's
yeah. I think we are encouraged to do the individual, individual work.
Was there any points in the course though, Nicha, where you guys kind of were paired up to do it, or was it mostly individual throughout the course as well?
I think for assignments and practices, yes, we can pair up with other people or work with classmates. But for capstone, I think because I think they want to see that we are able to produce something, because it's going to be hard if you work in a group project or with another person. It's going to be hard to give mark and to understand how much you actually understand the whole thing.
Yeah, it's yeah, I know in the gaming one sometimes we do the group projects at the end, but game development probably has a few different areas on its own too. So having 2 or 3 students involved with that makes sense. So, but certainly throughout the course, you'd be encouraged to pair up and work with other students throughout, or just connect, ask questions, all that kind of fun stuff too. So, does this course touch on machine learning for AI? Yes, it does, I believe. We use AI tools in it. I don't know if it's touching on machine learning specifically.
Yeah, probably not much. I think we just use AI for helping. us to code and to understand AI role. But then I know that the next one, the title include AI integration. So I'm not sure, it might be slightly different from the course that I'm taking right now. They might put a little bit more aspects of AI onto it. That I'm not sure. But for the course that I'm taking, yeah, we just use AI as a helper, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of we have teen programs as well that we are available for teens between the ages of 13 and 18, and I believe we have a teen course called Machine Learning and AI. So my brain immediately thought of that. So yes, this course has some AI tools built into it, like the Software Development Bootcamp for Adults that we're focused on today. Has some AI tools. To Nicha's point, we're probably incorporating more just because AI is so current, top of mind, and the tools are incredibly helpful when they're used properly. It can be horrible if they're not, but yeah, I'd say Brent, maybe just take a look at the syllabus and have a good look through. I don't know if it touches specifically on machine learning with AI, but there's definitely some AI components built into the course right now, and more that will be built into future courses there too. So just take a look at the requested syllabus and have a good look through, and it'll give you a good idea of what it'll entail overall. So. For the job searching tools and support provided for course graduates, is that available indefinitely or for a limited time? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think that we really kind of kick anybody out. If they're reaching back out and asking for support, we're probably going to always support them. But I think the window of support after the boot camp runs for like 6 months or something, or maybe a year. I want to connect, Peter. I don't want to give the wrong answer here and say, one thing I can say is that I know that students have reached out probably past whatever that window is, and our team is still happy to kind of connect and support and do whatever we can. So yeah, I'd have to connect with the career team and get an answer there. I hate to default to this answer, but if you do connect with our admissions team, they will have that answer for you. They'll be able to let you know exactly what that would look like and how long that period would go for. But Peter, if you want a more personalized response to that one, feel free to email me directly, Peter. You can email me at tyler@circuitstream.com, and I can take a look into that and see if I can get a better answer for you. I hate when I can't answer a question in the live. I just want to make sure I get something over to you for that. So, can you recommend any other funding options like learning grants or low interest student loans? So yeah, Josh, this is where it's best to go take a look at the website, look at the course page on the website. There's some funding and loan or grant information there. I don't know exactly what it is, but they do have some listed there. And this would be based on what other students have been successful in using. And then in addition to that, just connect with the admissions team, and they can definitely give you more advice and support there for that. I know we touched on this earlier, Nicha, but someone's asking how you found out about the course, and I believe you said it was online, right?
Yeah, it just pop up into, sometimes you get things pop up on your internet. But because I was searching for how to make a mobile app, so I was learning and try to get information, and then this course just pop up, and then it just caught my attention. So I click on it, learn more about the program, and I thought this is great. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. The marketing works for getting information out there. And then the last question here: how frequently is the curriculum updated? Basically daily. I mean, that's not a real answer. We're not going in and overhauling our entire curriculum daily and re-presenting it to the world every day. But the instructors, the people putting the courses together, or those who are kind of teaching it and connected to it, are constantly iterating on it. And I'd say at least once a year, we're doing probably a good haul of each of the programs or an overview and making sure that it's up to date and accurate. But realistically, this is an ongoing conversation all the time. I hear people saying, this was just introduced. This is a great new tool. We should, put this in the bootcamp. Let's swap this out. Let's introduce, So they're always in that mindset. They're always trying to keep it up to date, which is another reason why bootcamps are great, because they move fast paced, but oftentimes you're learning the most current things at an advanced level, so that you can kind of be launched into the career, into the industry afterwards, looking for a career, and you're kind of ready to go in a lot of ways. always. So so it doesn't give you an exact answer, but it's I know that we're currently updating the curriculum, or constantly updating the current curriculum, I need to say. So that's all the questions. I'm just going to flip back over to the chat tab. It was for Nicha. Good. Thank you, Rick. Rather niche question. Yeah, absolutely. Telling Nicha for all the information, of course. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining this session here today. Thanks for asking all of the questions. That was great. Really intelligent questions. We love getting those. So thank you for joining today. We will have more sessions coming up. You can always go to circuitstream.com, scroll to the bottom of the page and click the events tab, and it should tell you most of the upcoming events that we have. But outside of that too, Nicha, huge thank you for joining us today, for taking the time to share about your experience. You're going to do amazing. I can't wait to see your mobile development project. I'm going to be at your pitch day for sure. So make sure you say hi to me when I'm in there. But yeah, thank you for joining today and sharing on your experience. A lot of these folks in the audience who are curious about the industry, or are curious about what this course kind of looks like, you are the best window into that for them. You can give them an exact, accurate depiction of what the course is going to look like, and how you're doing, and what your success feels like. So thank you so much for joining us. I'd love to have you back again in the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, thank you everyone else again for joining us today. We will let you go now. We've gone a little bit over time, I guess. Oh yeah, we've almost an hour and 40 minutes. So thank you everyone for sticking with us. We'll see you at the next event, and I hope everyone has a great Tuesday. Cheers. Bye.